So what I'm going to be showing you now is how to make the pesto, and you can do this in a blender or like food processor. What you're going to want is some fresh basil. Now we have this in the garden that my husband has in the back. So if you don't have fresh basil at home, you can buy this obviously at the grocery store. So I have about a cup and a half. I want to put that, if you want to do it this way. You're going to put that in the food processor. Now, I want to just point something out to you. I've done this trial and error. You don't want to have wet basil. So if you're going to wash it, make sure that you dry it and leave it out, or dry it with a paper towel. Make sure it's dry when you. So you've got a cup and a half of basil. I've got 1 clove of garlic. You're going to pop that in there. Now, again, salt is to taste. So I would say probably about 1/4 teaspoon. You can alter that if you need. And you're going to have some black pepper. Again, this is just for your taste. If you like it a little bit more peppery, then you can add it. I just sprinkle a few dots of that, as you see. And what you want to do with this is, while it's dry, you want to blend it. So I'm going to chop this. Got to add the Parmesan. So I have 1/4 cup of shredded fresh Parmesan. So you're going to add that. Start with the whole thing, all of the dry ingredients. Oh, sorry. Then what you're going to do is you're going to slightly add, as you're doing this, add a bit of oil. Just want to get this. What you want to do here is once you take it out, I'm going to put it in this bowl. And what I did before we started was I washed the shrimp. Just I thawed it out, and then I just washed them. And I took the tails out of the shrimp. You can leave them on if that's how you prefer to serve them. And then what you do is you take your shrimp and you add them to this marinade. Now, what I do suggest is that you, if you can, if you have time, leave this for about an hour. Let it soak in, and then grill it. Now today we don't have time for that, and I wanted to make sure that we get a chance to see it fully grilled. So I'm just going to coat it, and I also want to show you that what I did was, so that's what it looks like, right? That's your marinade or your pesto, and you want to just leave it in there for a few minutes. Now, as you know, when you're grilling using wooden skewers, you want to soak them. So these have been soaking for about an hour and a half, and they're completely wet. You don't want to obviously use them unsoaked, it will catch fire. So I have done that and kept them ready for us. So make sure when you start, if you are making this in the morning, just put your wooden skewers in the water. The other thing you can use is your metal ones if you have them, and that's of course no problem too. Just the shrimp, right? Smells amazing. So what you want to do here is you basically want to skewer the shrimp. And like I said, I'm going to grill it in my inside grill here. You'll see in a minute. So I'm only going to put 4 on, just so that I have enough space for them all. And I'll keep it ready. So what I'll do is I'm going to skewer them all together. Now, the other trick I'll tell you with this pesto is if you like pasta, you can make the same pesto and add some pine nuts to it when you're doing it for pasta, and then blend it and use that as your sauce for making pasta. And it tastes great with penne if you're a penne fan like me. So that's, just have one more to do. And again, you would make more or less depending on how many you're feeding. For me here, it's just me and my son that like shrimp, so I've only made, you know, a few of these skewers for lunch. And so let's go to the grill and I'll show you. I'm going to wash my hands. So this is the grill that I have. It's been preheated and it's on about 400 right now, 425 I'm going to put it to. What I also did just to prepare it is I want to put a little bit of oil, and just so it cooks. You can also use the spray oil if you want, depending on what you're using. If you're using your Ninja or you're using your barbecue, it'll be different. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this on like so. Okay. Okay. Now shrimp doesn't take a long time to cook, as you all know. So what we'll do is we will flip them. You can see some of them are not touching right now, but that's okay because we are going to flip them so that they actually touch. Now what you could do is have it shorter and then use tongs, but I don't have tongs, so this is how I do it. But you know, we have to improvise with what you have. And what I find is, you know, the first time you do this, you might see, oh, you know, I could have done this or that. This is how we learn. So you want to just kind of test it out, right? Depending on whatever heat form you're using, because you can do this on a barbecue quite easily by just placing it on the grill. So you can see them turning pink, right? You can see how they're turning pink. Shrimp doesn't take long. And I did actually lay them flat just in an effort to save time, just so you can see the finished product. And with the remaining marinade, like if you just want to add it on top as you're flipping, it'll just give it more flavor. Again, like I said, that's the key to, one of the things I would say is marinate for an hour before you actually do this. But because I didn't have time, I'm doing it with you guys as we're, you know, live. And if you make this pesto, let's say you have too much and you can actually store this in the fridge for a few days. I wouldn't leave it for too long, but you can leave it for a few days. And the other thing I'll tell you with this is, I know you can buy the Parmesan in a container, right? The powdered stuff. I wouldn't use that. If you can really get the fresh Parmesan, it makes a huge difference for flavor. And it's just maybe 1 or 2 more minutes and this is done. Normally, I would serve it with like a rice with peas that I make and curried corn. And I've also served it with like a Caesar salad. So I'll make a Caesar salad and then I'll top it with grilled shrimp. You can also, of course, if you want to go unhealthy, you can serve it with French fries. But if we're trying to stay healthy, then we want to use some other ways, right? It's a nice snack as well. And that's it. We're done. So the shrimp is ready. I'm going to turn this grill off. And there you go. That's how fast it is to really have some beautiful grilled shrimp.